Hello and welcome to Connections Forum, which is a live online show hosted by myself, Heidi Hörnlein, and by my buddy, Margarita Christolotus. And in the past 2 years, we have offered more than 100 episodes with amazing guests who shared their piece of the truth and their experience with us and with their audience. Our commitment for the next years is offering a space for people who want to be interviewed on their subject and use the video for their own marketing purposes. And we offer coaching for overcoming camera shyness, for finding your authentic voice, and we train you in all aspects of a life appearance. And if you're interested in our services, please go to our website, HTTP, we posted afterwards in YouTube and on the event page, bit.ly/big YT for YouTube and then interviews. But you can also contact us directly on our event page or wherever you find us. So today's title is Self-Care that gives you love and awesomeness. And our special guest is Tandy Elisala. Did I pronounce it right, Tandy?
You sure did, Heidi. It's great.
Welcome to the show. It's very great that you are here and that we can talk about such a topic which is so important in our times, really. Before we start, a very short introduction about myself. I'm a trained Gestalt counselor and transformative life coach, and my main thing was voice coach, and I teach people to find their authentic voice. And I'm doing the Connection show with Margarita for more than 2 years and the Wisdom Factory show with my husband, Mark Davenport. And you can find us our main website, thepowerofrelationship.com. But there are many ways to connect with us. Now I give over to you, Margarita.
Yes, and I'm so excited to be here today. I'm Margarita Christolotus, and I help stressed professional women overcoming internal traumas and difficulties and come out of those traumas with a smile on their face. And I have done this for 18 years. And my website is thechristolotus.com, and I have the blessings to have Heidi as my partner or co-host for this new series, Done For You interviews. And now over to Tandy. Tandy Elisala is a fiercely committed to guide women who has been through challenging life situations to bounce back, heal, and create a success plan so they can live their lives with passion, grace, and ease. So Tandys inspires women to be confident and courageous as she helps them embody self-love, inner peace, and true joy. Tandy has 30 years of experience as an executive and coach, combined with her experience as a 4-time cancer survivor and family caregiver. She's learned what self-love truly means, and she is a #1 international best-selling author, HuffPost contributor, and a certified success coach. Yes. Did I get that right, Tandy?
Yeah, you sure did, Margarita. That's good.
Is there anything you wanted to add?
No, that's good. Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Yeah, I am so happy to have you too. What inspired you to do this journey, helping these people, and how did it start?
Great question. It started, like my self-care, self-love journey started, very early on, as with most of us, and then we have, different life events or milepost situations in life where we, caused us to pause and think about it. And I've been what you would consider a caregiver, for most of my life, starting when I was 13, in taking care of my little sister when my mother almost died, delivering her, and had subsequent mental health breakdowns. Fast forward to I was an executive in higher ed administration, working for one of the largest private universities in the nation, and loved what I did. And my dad was suddenly in a really massive car accident, and he was hit by a semi. And this was December 22nd of 2009, and he suffered severe traumatic brain injury. He was my already disabled mother's caregiver. The long and short of it is I spent 2.5 years taking care of them. I left my full-time corporate career. And then through, as you mentioned, my cancer journey through 4 different times, I learned that self-love is the only love, the best love, and that in order for us to truly manifest what we want, in order for us to truly get to a place of true happiness and inner peace, we must master self-love. We've got to master it. And it was through my last cancer journey that I felt I truly got it. Like the light bulb clicked on, and you went, I get it, I get it, I get it. And that was a truly light bulb moment for me, and it was a great, it was real freeing, because I've done this work, I do this work, I help coach women, I help do all this stuff, yet there was a little piece of me that still wasn't totally and completely accepting and loving myself. And I think that on some level that's where what the cancer was about.
So what exactly did happen to you? I mean, what has changed by that, this light bulb which came up? What did it tell you?
It told me that I am perfect in all my imperfections. It told me that I don't need to change or do anything in order to attract, the perfect relationship or the money, the clients, the whatever. That all of my experiences, all of my credentials, all of my life up to this point is enough, and that I am enough. And that light bulb moment came when I was writing down my vision for my life, and one of that is to find my divine male complement in physical form, and I was writing down, okay, here are the things I need to be, do, or have before that happens. And I wrote down release 40 pounds. And last year I released 85. And since then I've released an additional 15. And I'm just continuing, but very slowly and healthy, in a healthy way, releasing the excess weight that my body no longer needs. And I realized in that light bulb moment was when I was writing that down, and then I stopped and I literally crossed it off no, 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 no. And that was the moment. It was the most important relationship I will ever have is the one with myself, that I don't need to worry or care about what anybody else thinks of me. If they don't like me, or they don't like my message, or they don't like how I look, or whatever, they can just stop talking to me or looking at me. I really don't care. And so I have been much online. I've been doing more videos. So it's manifested in a lot of different ways and things. And I just feel like we are all perfect in all our imperfections, and every scar, every wrinkle, every whatever is an indication of our journey and the incredible road that we've taken and the incredible wisdom that we all have to share.
Wow, that's a journey for yourself. I mean, I had experienced some of these things too. But what would you say about why do people lack a consistent loving themselves? What do they need to actually love themselves?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think on a foundational level, they need to feel and believe, really believe, that they are worthy and that they deserve all the blessings life has to offer. At a foundational level, when we aren't taking care of ourselves with consistent like self-care practices, it's not about being busy, it's not about the BBB, although that can definitely play a role, but on a foundational level, really digging deeper, it's about self-love. Because if we love ourselves first, we are going to take care of ourselves. We're going to honor the body that we're in. We're going to honor our emotions and our energy and how we show up in the world. So it's a journey, but I think at a foundational level, women need to feel, and that's an important word, feel worthy and deserving. And it's really, I know it can be difficult for women to do that. And so to do that, they've really got to let go of all those limiting beliefs and fears. And a lot of those, some of those limiting beliefs might be around procrastination, it might be around perfectionism, it might be around the misnomer that society, I think, has had over the years that you've got to, especially if you're a mother, that you've got to put your family first, you've got to put your kids first, you've got to put everybody else ahead of you. And we've got to break through that because it's not true. Because the truth is, the only way that we can truly be there for other people, the only way that I was able to be there for my father through 12 or 11 rather brain surgeries and physical surgeries and injuries and 2.5 years of intense 24/7 care, and be there for my mom through all of her everything, her physical and through cancer and through her mental illness, was by putting myself first. And that was the most loving and selfless thing that I could do to make sure that I had the energy and that my tank was full enough to take care of them as well as my kids.
So what you are saying goes completely against the paradigm where women were educated. Women were educated in patriarchy to forget about themselves and be there only for the others, as you say. So I think maybe letting go of that is not so easy. And also maybe we first need the permission to give ourselves the permission to do that, you know, because there is still this conditioning behind us, and especially women in this case. And I find it really great that you are doing this, helping that to other women, and having done these experiences for yourself, because now you can be a real help for people.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome.
So I know that you have some kind of self-practice for your clients. Would you be able to share some of how you do it?
Sure. So what I encourage a self-care practice, obviously. That's huge because we've got to take care of ourselves, you know, and reinforce that love that we have for ourselves. And so I encourage everyone to have a morning success ritual. And if people are more like nighttime people, okay, fine, do it at night. But I really recommend doing it in the morning, because in the morning it sets the tone. You know, our day isn't dictated by our mood necessarily. Our mood dictates our day. And so the more that we can be in a positive mood and a positive mindset, in a loving and a self-loving kind of space, we can make room for everything that that comes through. So what I recommend is that a morning success ritual includes like 2, 3, 4, 5 things, and it can be quick. It doesn't have to be this elaborate thing, but gratitude is really, really huge for me. It's really foundational. Having a gratitude practice before my feet hit the floor. I give thanks for 3 things that I'm really, really thankful for, and I take a moment to really, truly embody those feelings. So that's number 1 that I recommend, is some form of gratitude practice. If you don't resonate with that, you can do a journal, or you can do a gratitude jar where you write something down, throw it in there. You can talk to your partner, loved one, spouse, children, and give thanks and say one thing that you're thankful for them each day, or around the dinner table. But gratitude is important. The other is having some kind of practice, like a prayer or meditation, walking, being with nature, something to that effect. So for me, these things that I'm talking about are part of my daily success ritual. Essential oils is cool for me too. I love that. I love taking walks. I love being with my beautiful dog. And music is also something important. So all of those things combined make for a good thing. And one of the other things I recommend is to have visuals around your self-care, so that it prompts you to remember to do it. So I actually have a success, like a binder, and in it I have my healing affirmations, I have prompts for my meditations, I've got my goals for the year that I look at every single day, I look at my affirmations for the year every single day, and those are the kinds of things that I incorporate into my self-care practice, daily self-care practice, and that I recommend for others.
So when somebody's learning about self-care and they want to do it, and then they're so enthusiastic, they start the first day in doing it, and then the next day, oh no, I can't do it right now, I don't have time, whatever. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, that's a great question. First, I think it's important to give permission to allow for lapses, or to allow for crappy days, because we all have them. Like, it's okay, and it doesn't have to be the end of the world. And what's important is that you have a foundation set for you of things that you can do. So what I would say to somebody who, gets started and with a bang, and 3 days in they're like, yeah, I'll restart Monday, kind of like a new diet, I would say, take it easy on yourself. It's okay. It's okay that they are exactly where they need to be in this moment, and that it's a journey, and it's okay if they, as they go through their journey, it's okay to quote slip and fall, or to not be completely consistent at first. You can build up to it. So I would say, okay, if every day is a tough thing for you to do, then let's try at first, let's try, 2 days a week. Can you commit to 2 days a week spending 10 minutes doing XYZ, whatever it is that they set for themselves? And then once they get to 2 days a week, then we say, okay, can we add a day? Can we commit to 3 days a week that you will do XYZ that you've established for yourself? Okay, great. And then I might slip in, like, okay, can you add like a bubble bath or reading a book? So I'm slipping in something extra there for self-care, but they don't really think of it that way. It's more just like loving, yourself and doing that. And then we would just gradually work up to a point where every day they're doing it, and it's natural, and it's just flows. And I can tell you that having a consistent self-care practice was foundational. It was critical to me being able to navigate all of the stress and overwhelm around taking care of both of my parents at the same time, full time, and that was a really tough time in my life. And then myself with the cancer, and I was also going through a divorce at the time of my dad's accident. I had just gone through abdominal surgery. I was recovering myself with push-pull limitations. My sister had just been involved in a really bad car accident weeks before as well, breaking a lot of bones and subsequently becoming addicted to pain medication. So our family went through an addiction journey. And being a single mom and the sole provider of my 3 kids as well, and then leaving my corporate career, you know, my cushy corner job and all this stuff, it was great. And, you know, I left that to take care of my parents. We, you know, adapted, and there were times that and we moved them in with us, with the kids and I as well, into our already modest 4-bedroom home. And you know, I found myself, you know, okay, renting out their home and then cleaning out their home, and you know, they were what one could consider hoarders, really bad hoarders, to the tune of equivalent of 5 homes and storage facilities full of stuff. And so I was responsible for getting all of that taken care of, as well as their medical and well-being. And there were times that they were both in separate hospitals at the same time. And do you think that I necessarily had time for self-care? No. Did I make time? Yes. Because it was the only thing that I had for me that was my way of staying full, of keeping my gas tank full so that I could be there. So I tell clients, I tell women, if you really want to be there for your child or your children or your parents or whatever situation you're in, or there for your employer, you know, if you're just a single professional woman working, it's important to know that self-care is selfless. It's not selfish. It's selfless. And you are more productive, you are happier, you are more peaceful, and you it's just a great thing. And so the more that they can experience that for themselves, even in short bursts, you know, like as I guide them through up to a consistent practice, the more that they feel compelled to feel that way, and that they feel compelled to do that. But you know what? Sometimes if somebody starts a practice and then 2 or 3 days in, they're like, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming. I don't have time to do this. So-and-so needs breakfast and backpack and this and that. We got to get off to school. I say, we need to address the limiting beliefs or the fears that you might have around self-love before we can really create that consistent practice, because that's an important component.
Well, that was an amazing journey. Go ahead, Heidi.
I have a question. What do you define self-care? Because I think about my mother. She had 5 children, and she was one of these mothers who, you know, as traditionally they were. And she, when she was older, then she thought self-care is buying new expensive clothes. Mm-hmm. And she didn't have a way to what I would consider real self-care. Could you a little bit define what self-care probably is? Not having perfect nails, you know? That's my idea. Right. What is your idea about self-care?
Yes, absolutely. I would say self-care isn't necessarily about material things. It's not necessarily about having the perfect nails or the perfect pedicure or the perfect handbag or the perfect clothes. Yet, I will say, if self-care can look different to different people. So for some people, getting their hair done, you know, their hair cut and colored or what have you, is a method of self-care, is something that they do to take care of themselves. And I would say that if that's it for you, great. If getting your nails done and having the perfect, you know, acrylic nails or what do you call the French tip, nails, you know, that is your way of exercising self-care, fine. But, however, it's not the only thing. And you've got to understand that yes, it's important how we present ourselves and how we show up in the world and all of that, and having a nice haircut can help you feel better about yourself. It really can. And maybe having nails done is that. But I would say it's not a consistent shopping spree. It's not material things, generally speaking. They're things that feed your soul. They're things that help you grow inside. And it is, you know, self-care includes exercise, you know, moving the body, which is a reflection of the outer shell, if you will, right? But you're absolutely right, Heidi. It's not about material things. I'm not talking about, ooh, self-care, that means I can go buy this and this and this and this and this and this and this. No. If that is where somebody is at with thinking about self-care, then they've got some fears or blocks that are really preventing them from really looking within. And so I would take someone like that and say, okay, let's talk about a bunch of other, and that's part of my gift that I have to offer, is a checklist for women to with ways, and I've separated it out by physical self-care, emotional self-care, spiritual self-care, and financial self-care. So there's a list of ways that women can start to exercise self-care and incorporate self-care into their daily lives. And so they pick something, you know, from each list, or if they're feeling like, okay, I need to really focus on my physical self, here are some things that I can do. And I can tell you shopping isn't on the list. But getting a haircut, I think, is, you know. So it is all in perspective, but I also think it's all in moderation. Kind of like with, you know, eating cheesecake, you know, or ice cream. If ice cream is your thing, it's fine to have ice cream, just in moderation. Just have a scoop. Don't have a carton. You know, it's the same thing there. I hope that answered your question.
Well,
Yes, thank you.
yeah. And you have answered all our questions. And I was thinking about, for the spiritual aspect, can you talk a little bit about that, for the self-care on the spiritual level?
Sure. Oh, my favorite thing. So, from a spiritual self-care perspective, it's things like I've incorporated ideas for ways women can connect to their higher self and connect to spirit, because the thing is, everyone wants to be the best version of themselves, right? Everyone wants to lift their life to greatness, lift their life and be the best version of themselves that they can be. Yet if we don't quiet the mind and quiet the heart and take time to really sit with ourselves and listen to the guidance that is innately within us, we're going to miss the signs. We're going to, miss that. So it's so important to develop your spiritual self-care, because it's through that space that we can get zings, about our businesses or our lives, or get inspired ideas, or allow messages to come through, or to ask for guidance. So some of the things on that list include prayer, include mindful meditation, includes finding if you are, some people are church people, some people aren't. So I have that on the list if that's something that resonates with, with women. And journaling, asking a question, like sitting with yourself in silence and asking a question, and just noticing what comes up. Where do you feel in your body right now? Like, where is it, and what kind of feeling or sensation is it? And just notice that, and then notice any thoughts that come up, and or any visions or any sounds, anything that might come up. And you know, especially when you're first starting, you're maybe not quite sure where you might feel spirit or your higher self coming through and trying to give you a message. And if we're so busy doing all the time, and we're not sitting our rear ends down, you know, for 5 minutes to sit and just be, and even be outside in nature, which is a big one of mine. I love go outside and just close your eyes and just set your timer for 5 minutes and notice all the sounds around you, the cars, the dogs barking, the doors, the windows, the wind, everything. And then just bring your awareness to that, because it's about practicing that muscle, you know, if you will, the intuition muscle, so that when we are making life decisions or even daily decisions, we can ask for help, and we can be open to receiving that, and we know what that means and what that looks like. It's just really, really important, I think. Spiritual connection, that groundedness, and staying in that space. Yeah, truly important, I think, for overall self-care. You've got to have that.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And you know, this is my work too, to invigorate or encourage my clients to do that too. So you have some gifts that you want to give up. How give to those who wants to sign up for, what was it, the checklist? How can they get it?
Awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity, first of all, to be a part of this community, and your followers to be here today and share. I really, truly appreciate it, and I'm honored. Yes, I have a self-care checklist, and I talked about it a little bit earlier, and how they can get that is bit.ly, bit.ly/self-care checklist, all one word, lowercase. So bit.ly, bit.ly, excuse me, /self-care checklist. And as I mentioned, I've broken down the checklist in the 4 different categories of life. So physical, emotional, spiritual, and financial self-care. And so there are ideas there. I promise there's ideas for everybody. If you're just starting out, or you're looking to enhance your self-care practice and, you know, kind of change it up a little bit, kind of like with exercise, change the routine a little bit. There are definitely ideas that you can take and try and see if they resonate with you and work with you to incorporate into your daily success ritual.
Thank you so very much to come on our show. And I personally have downloaded your checklist. It's very good. It's really, really good. So, Heidi,
I will do that. I will do that. I'm looking forward to see it, and I will do it right afterwards. Thank you.
So what is your takeaway here, Heidi, from what you've heard so far?
I find it extremely interesting and extremely comprehensive what we're talking about. You know, it's taking so many aspects into consideration. It's truly holistic approach, and I like that. Thank you.
I am impressed because I've gone through the similar journey as you, Tandy, and I didn't have cancer, but I had things, and so I know what you're saying is the truth. And to actually have a self-care practice, you cannot survive without it. This is my experience. I support that totally. So thank you for spreading the news about this and share that self-love is essential for living a happy life.
Mm. You're welcome, and to thank you so much for the opportunity, because it is so important that every single person really, but women on the planet need to hear the message that we all collectively share.
It has been a very great pleasure to have you here, Tandy, and both Heidi and I say thank you to you. And
Yeah, thank you.
And then this is the end. So we might invite you another time if you like. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Take care,
Bye-bye.
ladies.